Welcome everyone. Hail to my fellow Selvan citizens. I am I.D.G Curry, and I would like to present to you the official Shogun of the Heavens YouTube channel, where we will be walking the path in each chapter of Book 1, Fall of Immortals. Narrating this thrilling, action-packed, and dramatic fantasy will be yours truly, I.D.G Curry, aka, for these sample readings, the Prophet of Pagulane. Now, without further ado, enter with me as we plummet to Gaia and into Book 1, Fall of Immortals. Prophet, proceed. Throughout the cosmos laid many different heavens, hosting many pantheons of gods. Each god has a story. Each god began with a story. These stories drift through the millennia within the hearts of the faithful who believe in them and their values. In the midst of the stars and parallel to the fairy realm is the kingdom of Eutopia. Eutopia is a world made of pure energy. The Ethiopians call this energy mana. As for the Ethiopians, they are an advanced species of sentient beings that share a bond with the planetary mana around them and are quite adept at manipulating it. Their mastery of mana manipulation allows them to heal most wounds and ailments, assuming they can be treated in time. Ethiopians are able to draw from the mana around them, increasing their physical capabilities and combat prowess. It has even been said that they can manifest conception during mating rituals, particularly if there is a gender preference. The very same mana that flows through the crust of Ethiopia powers the constructs throughout their city, grows their food, and forges their weapons, armor, and technology, their entire way of life. Highly distinguished among these mana sensitives were the Acolytes of Dawn. They were the elite, the strongest warriors on Ethiopia, and served as generals of the Ethiopian military and royal guard. As mighty as they were, there is even one they must bow to: Korgim, the Omni King, deity and ruler of Ethiopia. He has ruled Ethiopia since its inception. No one in all the land possessed more wisdom and mastery over the mana. The Ethiopians did not only praise the Omni King as their monarch, they worshipped him as their creator and their god. With absolute authority, he appoints each acolyte, and the top 10 acolytes of Dawn comprise the king's military council. These distinguished generals held the most authority in the realm, aside from the king himself, of course. For eons, the Omni King has led his acolytes to victory, standing against all that would lay siege to or threaten Ethiopia in search of wealth or power. The seat of power in the realm of Ethiopia, resting as high as the highest mountain peak, was the Mithril Palace, where the Omni King and his acolytes preside over the realm. The sunrise would reflect off the walls of the palace, and each morning would display the most beautiful symphony of light you have ever seen. The spectrum of lights would change colors according to the time of day. 3 Ethiopians can argue in circles about whether the castle looks more magnificent at dawn, dusk, or moonlit at night. It stood on top of a dead floating volcano used to forge the castle's mithril walls. Below the levitating mass was the capital city of Ethiopia, Teva al-Jana, a city built to honor the Supreme. Teva al-Jana was founded as Ethiopia's capital city and, under the king's guidance, paved the way to higher learning, cultivating a culture of both magic and science. Generation after generation was schooled in the stories and songs telling of how the Omni King enslaved a tribe of invading giants to build the Mithril Palace. He then hung his sigil on top of the palace, the image of a dragon reigning the sky and a wolf running the fields flapped in the wind above the palace. Giants, trolls, and other servants of none, the abyss from which all chaos emerges, would try to seize the riches and power that lie locked in the palace vault. None so far have succeeded. Recently, however, the chapter archives in the palace had seen an increasing amount of late-night activity in the restricted section. Determined orange eyes were diligently scrolling through files. The light from the terminal reflected the shifting pages in his stare. The chapter archives is a network of information gathered on and off-world by spies and chroniclers. Access to this information is privileged and on a need-to-know basis. Use of each terminal is monitored and restricted information even more so. The palace terminals in this area require high clearance access, at least an acolyte ranking. So, here it is, Chapter 11, whispered the acolyte as the data from the terminal reflected in his eyes and a grin raised his cheeks. Footsteps were then suddenly heard approaching the archive. Fate seems to have chosen that I not delay. Now that I've found this, it won't be long before I'm found out. The acolyte arose from his seat and headed towards the palace vault. His dark black dreadlocks swung behind him in the breeze as he descended the winding steps leading beneath the palace. His white cape floated behind him, decorated with a symbol representing his squad and rank. Crimson armor reflecting in the moonlight, guards stood aside at full attention as he passed them by. They recognized him by his imposing temperament, his intimidating yet inspiring presence, and by the designation on the chestplate of his armor, Elite Second Acolyte Zamir. Soft footsteps kept pace behind Zamir as he made his way to the vault. Priestess Amina, the patrol guard said in their salute as she passed them, following Zamir. The priestess is chosen from among the noble families living in the palace. Once a generation, a priestess is appointed to personally attend the Omni King. Her duties were to protect him and ensure the satisfaction of his desires. Favor smiled on Amina's family when she was appointed this generation's priestess. Amina's beauty was only matched by her aim with a bow. She had soft, smooth, and dark caramel skin, curves like an hourglass, long legs, and her curly brown hair hung in a ponytail down her back. A golden girdle covered her lower body behind a thin robe that cut off just below her upper thighs, and a red sash held it closed around her waistline. It was a uniform that was both too revealing and not revealing enough, depending on whether you were a nobleman or his wife. Many in Korgim's court desired her, but only one would be permitted to touch the priestess. Any that tried would face her bow, Korankat, the heart seeker, a divine longbow passed down to each priestess since gifted by Korgim to the first. One could look at Amina and say that she was blessed beyond compare. However, she had the misfortune of having to choose duty over her heart's desire as she stalked her former lover to the trophy room located in the front of the palace vault. The trophy room was where rare artifacts, fine gifts, and trophies were collected from numerous conquests were stored. Each item in the room contained unmeasured power and mystery, tempting Zamir as he passed all but one, the Omnisphere. Zamir's pulse raced as he approached the sphere of controlled chaos. Based on the information I found in the chapter archive, Korgim used this sphere to divide the mass of terror the Mithril Palace was built on from the land below, suspending it in the lower atmosphere. Zamir's triumphant moment was interrupted before he could savor it. Halt, Zamir! What are you doing? Zamir turned around, and his eyes widened as Amina sprinted towards him, grasping her bow to take aim. Knowing that there was no turning back, Zamir smashes the transparent pillar housing the Omnisphere. The alarm protocol's triggered, and the layers of energy blocked.
Hey, slow down. Ease off the pedal.
I'm on them spitting
Thank
bars,
you
bro.
everyone for tuning in for this reading.
Join us next week as we get into the next part of the saga. Shogun of the Heavens Book 1 is available on Amazon and Amazon Kindle or for order at your local Barnes & Noble's bookstore. The Amazon link to purchase the book is in the description of the video. Behold, as we all dive into the world of myths and fiction. Book 2, The Throne Crusher, is still set to be released on December 9th, 2024. This installment changes the tempo of the story, allowing us to go deeper into popular role characters who will now step to the forefront of this epic tale. On this channel, we will be providing you a series of samples read from the Shogun of the Heavens book series and complemented by visuals from the story as envisioned by the author. Please like and share the video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below. Then, while you're at it, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where you can compare our competing galleries of artworks brought to life from the story. Thank you.